What what helped you get there? Because I know that's scary, because obviously you're going from something that you're comfortable with that you know
Yeah.
to something that you're uncomfortable with that you really don't know all that well.
Yeah.
How did
So,
you get there? How did you
uh,
get to that point of making that switch?
that's a very loaded question just because, so this is where my personal life is so intimately intertwined with my decision to do real estate and to become a full-time agent. So 2019 was like the absolute year from hell. I My younger brother passed away from a drug overdose. I ended up getting a divorce. My ex, like, we went through this whole, like, it was probably about 8 months of like, honestly, just like abandonment. Like, he just didn't talk to me, wasn't there. He would leave me and like just be gone for days. I wouldn't know where he was at, block my phone number, like all this like crazy stuff. And like I had to I moved 5 times in 6 months. Like
Wow.
there was like so much stuff going on that I first had to have like a very like I had to completely rework myself. Like my mindset, my goals, my like what do I want in life now that my life has been completely rocked. Because up until then I was still doing marketing. And now I'm in a position where I have to pick another career. I was like, well, maybe I'll do this, maybe I'll do this. Like I was thinking my uncle owns an architecture firm, and I was like, oh, well, maybe I'll be an architect. I really love buildings and whatever. And then it was funny because it was almost like in the same breath, I was like, you love buildings, you love architecture, you have your real estate license. Like, what are you doing? But but like all of this stuff happened that basically like it like reduced me to like emotionally and mentally, it reduced me to the point of like a clean slate. And like I
Yeah.
was able to like rebuild. I almost felt like I just had to completely like rebuild my life. And I just took it as like from here on out, this is what we're doing. So like I don't know. That's a hard question to answer just because of the
Yeah.
fact that I can't like I can't identify because there were so many events that happened. And that's
Yeah.
only a few of the big ones. Like there were just thing after thing after thing, and like, but I think it was just the whole and like me just being like, okay, well, this is a period in my life. I need to sink or swim. So learn to
Mm.
swim.
Yeah. It's one of those things that I would say there's two videos that I always go to anytime I'm in a slump or anytime I'm struggling. One is Eric Thomas. He has a video that talks about, until you want to succeed as bad as you want to breathe. If you guys just watch that video, that was very impactful because I was earlier in my real estate career. Um, I think with agents, I bring that up and you mentioned it, right? I had to sink or swim, right?
Yeah,
And as agents, a lot of times you're not going to be 100% comfortable, confident, and ready to make that jump. And I'm not even talking about the jump from another career into real estate. I'm also talking about the jump from doing what you're doing today to where you want to get to next, right?
right.
Maybe it's, hey, I've been doing 20 deals a year, but I really want to get to 50.
Yeah,
That is a whole nother level of commitment, sacrifice, right? Skill set, budget, like all of those things. And it's until you make that decision, right?
yeah,
You draw the line in the sand and you say, hey, we got to go, right?
yeah,
If this is what we want to do. So, um, Megan, for you in 2019, so you just kind of jumped in 2 feet at that point
yeah.
and went full time.
Well, like I said, I my brokerage has been an incredible, like my broker and his wife, and it's a family run business. They've been in business since the 70s. They they truly like I almost look to them for advice before I ask my own parents, just because they've become like
Yeah.
truly part of my family. I was like, hey, well, I mean, I really want to learn. I'm going to go full time real estate. Like, I need to do this. Like, and we just actually the front desk person ended up moving, so we had the front desk position open. And I was like, hey, I would really love to do this. I need a job. I have no way of making money right now, so it'd be really great if you could help me on that way. But also, I actually didn't realize it at the time, but that was like that was an integral part to my career, because I was able to sit down and I mean, I don't think a lot of agents you you learn as you go, but you
Mhm.
don't learn as you go, if that makes sense. Like you know what forms need filled out, you know what things need signed, but do you know what they say? Do you know
Right,
why? Do you
right.
know like the ins and outs of like what you're actually doing? And to be very honest, I'm not sure if I wouldn't have had that job, I don't think I would be as good of an agent as I am now, just because I know what that contract says like verbatim. Like I know each section in the contract or the purchase contract. Um, I know why they sent like they sign like the consumer guide, and I'm able to just kind of like go through these things in a presentation just to say, hey, like this is what this is. This isn't a big deal. This is legally binding, but because I would
Yeah.
go through all of what I would do is I would go through all the files for all of the other agents that were closing deals, which also was a motivator because like every day I'd be like, man, there's 5 files sitting on my desk and I don't have one. Um, but I would go through the paperwork and yeah, like I would just go. So from I want to say it was October. So from October until like June of 2020 is when I like that's when I was working on the front desk, but I was also doing my work like to try to build my business. And now I've talked so much that I forget the initial question you asked. But
Being able to jump in full time in
jump in. Okay.
2019.
So I think so that yeah, at the time like I was living with my dad. I that was the job that I had. I worked part-time. It was 5 hours a day. So I think that helped immensely. And I actually highly recommend any agent that's like able to do that. I mean, if you still live with your parents and you're able to live on like a smaller income, like try to just be the front desk, like be an assistant to an agent
Yeah.
just for 6 months. Like you'll learn more than you would ever think, just based on that time alone. So
I honestly think it should be something that the division requires, that every new agent has to join a team.
yeah,
I know not all teams are created equal,
yeah,
but you know, for me, the team it it can help with the opportunities for sure, but it's what you just explained. It's the
yeah,
contracts, it's the questions, it's the addendums, it's the clauses, it's the paperwork, it's all of the other stuff that's going to keep you from getting into trouble.
yeah,
Right? It's being able to pick up the phone and call someone, or to shadow on a showing, or to go on a listing appointment, or do a buyer consultation, or hold open houses, those types of things is where you're really going to learn how to be a realtor.